Hey guys, SoCal Val here. You are listening to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast.
Welcome everybody back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle channel. I'm your host, Andy Burrows, and this is our Survivor Series review show. As you can see, I'm joined by the man that needs to give his head a wobble. It's Mr. Adam Cousins. Ads, how are you, mate?
Still giving my head a wobble, yeah. You know what? I always say this. I don't. If I get things wrong, I'll be the first one to hold my hands up. And
never say never in wrestling, Ads. You know the drill. For those that don't know, Adam done our SmackDown review on the weekend and said if you think CM Punk is going to be turning up in WWE, give your head a wobble. And yeah, we're going to get into it. We sit here talking about Survivor Series. We had Team Bianca win. We had Gunther defeat The Miz. Santos Escobar defeated Dragon Lee. Rhea Ripley defeated Zoe Stark. And Team Cody won the men's War Games match. So much to break down, my friend. That doesn't even touch the surface to what else happened. We had a Randy Orton return. And as we've just mentioned, hell must have froze over, like a certain Triple H said. CM Punk is now back in the WWE. I know you and Dave got into it a little bit when you spoke. I listened to a little bit of the show that you did with him talking about it, but dust has settled a little bit. Ads now. Any more thoughts on CM Punk coming back to the WWE? Obviously, I know you messaged me this morning. He's going to be on Raw as me and you sit here recording this. He's going to be on Monday Night Raw. Randy Orton's going to be on Monday Night Raw. I think Raw have got the best bloody deal out of all of this, by the way. Any more thoughts on what you've seen since CM Punk returned to the WWE and hell froze over?
Seen a lot of people that really sort of going into one about what Seth done, and you seem
that's a working all day long, mate.
Everyone seems to forget that Seth Rollins said all of the bad stuff, and in the same interview said, but if he come back to WWE, he would do business.
Yeah, and he was at a house show last night, and he mentioned
he cut one on there, didn't he? Yeah, and it's what I said to Dave. I think what WWE do better than AEW is best for business.
Everything. Oh,
well, that's up for a debate. Best for business. Like the AEW was sitting on a potential gold mine with Punk and the Elite and Omega, and all that crap kicked off and stuff like that. But they're growing adults.
If Triple H and CM Punk can kiss and make up, so to speak, then Jesus, and there was pure hatred there. Pure hate, like actual hatred between them two. They couldn't stand the sight of each other. And obviously Punk done some interviews, Triple H done some. I'm with you, mate. I mean, obviously I haven't been able to sit down and talk to you since Survivor Series like this. I think it's good for business. I just hope it, goes the way that we want it to, and it doesn't go south again for CM Punk, because that seems to be the trend recently when he's come back to whether it be he's come back to, tried some MMA and that all went a bit wrong. And he's come back to AEW and that all went a bit wrong. And now I'm hoping that he's come back home, so to speak, to WWE. I mean, I'm envisioning that when he sat down with Paul Levesque and he would have said, look, I need a clear understanding of what, where, how, who I'm going to be working with. If they go straight off the bat with this Seth Rollins run, wow, it's going to be, you're printing money, whether they long that out to Mania, whether the Rumble's around the corner, whether that's the main event of the Rumble. We'll get into it later on. Does CM Punk go on and win the Rumble now? That is throwing a complete spanner into the works for all the right reasons, and everything while we like wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. And now it does, and I said this to Dave yesterday, does it affect the finishing of the story?
Well, mate, it's funny. Honestly, it's interesting that he's on. Is he exclusively to Raw? Well, me and you're going to know more tonight. Does he like? If he's advertised for fucking Friday Night SmackDown, then that's fucking. That's it. Cats, pigeons everywhere. It's going to be incredible if he rocks up on SmackDown. Imagine him and Roman Reigns.
He doesn't like him either.
Yeah, but again, said when he done Logan Paul's podcast that he would do business, and that's. To your point, and you made a great point, I think that's maybe the difference, do you think, between the WWE superstars and AEW? They were, all their backstage stuff, they were like, well, no, we're not doing business then. Whereas WWE go, we'll work through our backstage stuff while we do business.
Yeah, well, it's as simple. It's like you don't have to love Paul in finance or Stacey in accounts or whatever, or someone in marketing.
I don't like Stacey in accounts.
There you go. That's the whole point. But bottom line is, you work for the same company and you want that company to thrive. And you're talking printing money. AEW had the chance to print a fuckload of money there with that. and for egos or whatever got in the better way. But there was also the rumor that Cody left because of Punk to a degree. So, but he did also come out and say if in the presser after,
it did.
That, so yeah, it's just about doing business. But exciting. We always say go off the air. We're making you want to watch the next show.
Mate, I was scrolling through like YouTube and TikTok yesterday, and the amount of reaction videos I've watched because everyone was like, I was probably the same as you when you watched it. I didn't watch it till this Saturday because Sunday because I was out Saturday night. But when the little corner bit comes up and you see that, and you're like, oh well, maybe everyone was right. And then when the music hit, my life, everyone, I was the same. I was like, holy. This is incredible. They actually have pulled up, and apparently it only come to fruition 7-8 days ago.
Yeah,
they sat down.
Yeah, they said they had a chat with Triple H about 7-8 days ago, and then he only signed the paperwork that day.
A multi-year deal as well.
Yeah, they cleared the area for him. They didn't tell anybody, not even the TKO people.
No. Oh, that was brilliant when Triple H said that. You can imagine the TKO execs just watching Survivor Season.
They're probably really happy.
Yeah, they're printing cash. They're printing cash now. Yeah, the merch will go. Everything. WWE is like Triple H said. They're going where they're going, and like he said, let's go. Let's get into the pay-per-view then. Ads. Let's start off with Team Bianca, the women's War Game match. Wow, that's probably one of the best women's matches, War Games or anywhere, that I've seen in a long time, mate. There was people flying off the top of cages with trash cans over their head. There was all sorts going on, mate. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think if those two matches, War Games matches, wasn't on the card, it would have been awful. Because I didn't like the rest of the show. The action was good and fine, but I don't think from what you'd class as an pay-per-view from WWE, like as in where it's the stature and like he's one of the top 4, right? And
if you're a traditionalist wrestling fan, Survivor Series is in your top. It's in one of your favorites.
Yeah, exactly that. So I think without those two matches, it would have been bland. But no, the match itself was really good. Helps when you got. I mean, I'm still not over keen on Shotzi and that promo on SmackDown. I wasn't sure whether she was on ecstasy or something like she was going off, but she done well as well. To be fair, there wasn't hardly any slips from her. It was a really exciting match. I wasn't necessarily sure who was going to win that either. I thought Damage Control might have got it, but in the end, obviously Becky and Charlotte made up, so to speak.
Together.
I still think that's going to explode by Mania potentially and have them too.
Where does Jade Cargill fit into all this still? Because we're still, honestly, and we joke, mate. I think she is in catering. I'm not sure what's going on now. Rumble, it's got to be the Rumble in it. She's got to be in the Rumble.
You would think or hope, but from what Triple H said, I mean, I suppose he kind of maybe he was slating AEW, but he sort of, without saying it, said they didn't really have what they were doing. Yeah. So I don't know with Jade. She's disappeared. But
the sounds of what I'm hearing, I read an article, might have been on Inside the Ropes or something. But excuse me if I'm wrong, if someone tweeted out that she might not be WWE in-ring ready. And we always said that when me and you used to review the early AEW stuff, and we were like, "Oh, in the ring, it's not great." WWE, they're not going to stick you, even if it's in an NXT ring. They're not going to put you in there now if they don't think that you're ready. And this isn't like NXT developmental days where you might get half a chance when you're just wrestling on the WWE network, and now you're on a TV network. And I think I think she's just at the Performance Center from what I'm hearing. But I'd like to think Royal Rumble if I'm honest. But I really enjoyed the women's match. I'm like you though. When you look at the rest of the card, let's go down to the next one. Santos Escobar defeated Dragon Lee. Triple H spoke highly of Dragon Lee after after the show. But again, for me, it was just like this is a match I can watch.
Perfectly acceptable match if it was on SmackDown. It wasn't quite ready for in my opinion, it wasn't quite ready to be on the pay-per-view. Dragon Lee's not long been on SmackDown. I get where they're going with it, but I just think that was more of a upper mid-card SmackDown match than a so-called top 4 pay-per-view. It wasn't ready. They hadn't done enough yet for it to warrant that. And the action kind of, the action itself was fine and good, what you would expect with Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar. But I just don't think it was ready for a pay-per-view.
That was probably meant to be Escobar versus Mysterio, wasn't it? But
Carlito.
Well. Yeah, and Carlito, but obviously injuries. Yeah, so that's one of them where they've had to,
fine for what it's worth, but this wasn't quite. It would be eventually. It would definitely be worthy of a pay-per-view of that stature, but I just don't think it was ready for it yet.
One match I'm really interested to get your views because I know you're high on most of the matches he had. Again, this one though, I was a bit like, where are they going with this? Gunther defeated The Miz. Miz was really over with the crowd. It was, but for me though, I don't know. I'm just like, is Gunther? I don't fucking know. I mean, you've been saying it for months. Is he going to go now to the main? But I'm not seeing anyone really that can take the IC title off him, unless now you could throw Randy Orton into that mix.
Well, you could throw Punk into it as well. There's never, just potentially possible. But I never thought in a million Sundays the Miz was going to get the job done. It probably was Gunther's weakest match in there, but that's
not great, was it?
No, it wasn't brilliant. It was probably not a fault of either. They're just two styles that just don't work. It happens. I mean, them two singly on their own are good. Miz is good at working the crowd. He's also quite actually better in the ring than what people think he is. Gunther is fantastic, but you have to, it takes two to tango, and if the two partners don't work, it just doesn't work. And that's really what happened there.
Yeah, what happens now, do you think, is we, because the roster's getting stacked and stacked, more and more talent are coming on. Obviously, we've got Orton and Punk now on Monday Night Raw. You've already got The Miz on Raw. You've got Gunther on Raw. Raw's kind of getting back to like the old days where it's just like the number one show. I think, me and you grew up just watching Raw. We never had SmackDown or anything else. But, we've said many a times over the recent months and nearly a year that me and you have been talking that SmackDown, I enjoyed SmackDown far better than I used to enjoy Raw. Now they think maybe with the new, like you said to me a few months ago, the new TV deals coming up, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot more higher power people involved now. Triple H has got to answer to more execs. Do you think that now they're going to look to really stack we'll call it the prime number one show?
I think so. SmackDown, that's already got a home, isn't it? That's on CW.
Yeah,
SmackDown. CW. SmackDown has been done. It has, hasn't it?
SmackDown's been SmackDown.
USA.
SmackDown's moved to USA.
And Raw hasn't got a home yet, right?
Raw hasn't been announced yet, no. But apparently the TV deal is up for renewal. But
they're also
it's going somewhere else.
Funny enough, they're talking to TNT and TBS.
That would be interesting.
Fucking hell. They have. You're right. They've got to do it because they need to, and they want big money for Monday Night Raw as well. So you have to look what you could have won. Have a look at what you can win, and then you win it, and then trade them all to SmackDown or something like that. But SmackDown's been better. Yeah, I mean, Raw's been, the last couple of months or so, there's not been a bad Raw at all. Normally we sit here and we go, yeah, we fast forwarded that. That was pony. This was crap.
No one's fast forwarding this week's Raw, I'll tell you. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait to review that tomorrow, mate.
First time I'm really looking forward to Raw. I mean, I think the last time I was really looking forward to Raw was a fucking letdown, was after WrestleMania.
And that was awful. Remember me and you talking about that? It was one of the worst WrestleManias I've ever held. The whole Brock Lesnar turning on Cody, and that was about it.
Yeah.
Literally, that was about it. I'm looking forward to Raw. Before we get into the men's War game, and Rhea Ripley defeating Zoe Stark again, for me, it was all right. Nothing amazing. Again, I'm with you, though. I don't know if they kind of know where they're going with Rhea Ripley. I know we're now we call it WrestleMania season now because we're on the way to the Rumble. Interesting to see what they do, because it's not like I'm looking around in the pipeline. We mentioned Jade Cargill, nowhere near ready. Yeah. Becky and Charlotte, what happened? They're the only real two that you could say, if you're talking up here, like stars to go and take the title off her. What did you make of the match, though? I mean, like you say, Rhea Ripley picking up the win for me. And again, if this was on SmackDown I'd or Raw, that's me forwarding that match. I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't like it at all. Yeah,
it wasn't great. It wasn't particularly fantastic. I agree. I don't quite know where they or know what they're doing, or whether they know what they're doing. I mean, who's next? Viable, really? Nia Jax, maybe. I mean, they haven't had their one-on-one. They had it in a.
Yeah, that could be the Rumble, I suppose.
But what and there isn't, unless you're going to bring someone up from NXT. There really isn't anybody.
No.
Really, no. For Rhea, which is a shame. But I mean, her title reign's been kind of lost in the Judgment Day shuffle anyway. Really, it's been more focused on Balor and the Priest and Dominic, and now obviously JD than anybody else. But I don't know. The women's division is difficult at the moment. It's both sides. It's so hard to see because you can't keep doing the same shit over and over again. And so, who's Io going to have now?
Who's good point, actually? Yeah,
she's beaten pretty much all of them.
The Bailey, it looks like they're going to be turning on Bailey from what I'm reading. That's coming up probably this week on SmackDown. I reckon they might long it out to the Rumble and someone eliminates her and that's how they.
Did they have a punt again? I think we spoke about this, or maybe I mentioned. Did they have a poke around Sasha again to see if she's available?
Yeah, I saw so there was big, as there always is. It's like me and you were at Money in the Bank, and the rumors flying around that day were ridiculous. But apparently, and again, this could be another wobble your head moment. Is Sasha Banks has been very highly rumored now to be coming back to WWE. So whether that, and it's always around, you think Royal Rumble's perfect. If you want to ever bring more than one person back, just chuck them in the bloody Rumble. That's perfect. So she's rumored to come back. So that would be something. Would you want to? I know you weren't highly high on her, shall we say, when she was in WWE because of her attitude. Her in-ring stuff's great. I mean, I really like it. But it's more of a she thought she was better than what I think she wants to be, that Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. Well, you need to earn that sort of fucking status.
Yeah, things don't go away. She throws the pit.
Mm.
And that's fucking, you got, again, it's we just talked about it, it's doing business. And you got to learn how to do business in wrestling. If you can't, then you will end up as what's being, or the sort of stuff that happens in AEW, where you have these backstage stuff and it never gets sorted out. And it took 10 years for Punk and Triple H to, well, potentially, we don't know. He turned up at Raw, didn't he?
Turned up at Raw, didn't he? Yeah, last
year. Back. So it could have been that they've sorted things out properly, but you got to learn how to do business. And I just think with Sasha, if it doesn't go away, she just sulks. It seems that way. I mean, we don't know, do we? None of us know what goes on behind the curtain they go through. So we don't know that. But it's just, if you believe everything that you read, which you shouldn't, but if you believe it when it's from multiple people saying the same thing, you kind of think there's more. There's something there, and it just feels like she's one of those girls that the attention's got to be on her, and if it's not, she's
fully agreed. Fully agreed.
But I think she should come back if now it needs her. I think it does.
Yeah, I mean, it would ignite a division, really, in my opinion. She needs a little. Don't get me wrong, the Becky and Charlotte thing is going to be interesting to see what they do. I mean, I think they'd be good tag team champions for a little bit. That would be interesting.
Well, they normally do it, don't they? They do that. I mean, how many times have we seen when the men, used to a main event in WrestleMania, so throw you in a team, win the tag titles for a month,
and turn. I hope they don't do the basic. They'll be champions leading up to Mania, then Becky will turn on Charlotte. Charlotte turn on Becky, and they'll have a match at WrestleMania.
Probably.
Done. Yeah. But Team Cody won the men's War Games match.
They did.
Randy Orton returned, looked as jacked as I think I have ever seen him. We know he's been in the Performance Center for like 2 or 3 months. We know he's been working out hard. Incredible match. Team Cody picking up the win. You had things like an RKO off the fucking top of the cage. JD McDonough got launched into an RKO. I was like, this is fucking incredible. These two, I'm with you. The 2 War Games matches not saved, but really they were the highlight of this show. You can see why one was at the start. Yeah, one was at the end, and then they just gave us a little bit. Well, R-Truth come back in the middle. That was good.
yeah.
That was funny. R-Truth was back eating chips or crisps. He didn't know quite what to call him. But what did you make of the men's match? Great to see Randy Orton back. What's your opinions moving forward now? We've touched on the start of the show with CM Punk, but just where do you go after this match? And what did you make? And also interested to get your views, Ads. The Drew McIntyre storming off before CM Punk come out. The internet's putting 2 and 2 together and getting 100. Apparently, is it a work that he just wanted to get out of it? Apparently, though, there was backstage beef with Drew McIntyre after the show. From what you read, and again, yes, pinch of salt, and I'm going to probably give my head a wobble if this is all crap. But from what you read, contracts up, going to AEW. What did you make of everything? Because there's so much to unpack from that one match.
I think what I'm going to make of it now is it's going to be the start of getting Priest out of the Judgment Day. I think he was meant to be the leader in this, and it was his plan. He tried to cash in, obviously, as well during that.
Yes, there was failed cashing again.
So he's still got the Money in the Bank briefcase for now. McIntyre, you read a lot of shit. He went back, slammed a load of doors, yada, yada, yada. He was gone before Punk. I mean, they all knew, everyone in the main event knew what was happening at the end. Obviously, because otherwise they'd be starting to get out of the ring. So they all knew what was going on. So McIntyre,
apparently they were told in like Gorilla or something like that before they.
Yeah, they were told before I think they even told us they were probably finishing up their warm up or whatever they were doing.
100%.
They were told. They know. So I don't know. Look, McIntyre. We've been told the contract, and then that was he not happy with the match? I mean, he cut a promo last night. Wherever they were last night. They were in Illinois still, wasn't they, last night for a show? He said, I can't remember what he said, but he did mention it. But I don't know. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Like McIntyre, he'd probably end up in AEW. I can see it, and I can probably see it all in this maybe in 2024. So yeah, his thing, I don't know. We'll have to find out about that. The foul cash-in was good because he brung Randy Orton out. He wasn't necessarily in the match at first, was he? Because he hit 0 and then Rhea come out. JD McDonough getting the super RKO was
Mate,
great.
that was incredible, wasn't it? Fair play to Randy. She had to time that like a motherfucker.
He did, and he was, he
was on it, wasn't he? He looked on it, didn't he?
Well on it. He was well on it.
He was fucking. You can. I like the way he give it the old thing with the neck because he's like, and then he hit the. I was like, this guy. I fucking love Randy Orton.
Held up when he come back from obviously Punk and all that stuff had kicked off. He held up something. He wants to wrestle another 10 years.
Wow.
Which is wow. I mean,
did you see the clip going around of him sitting in a chair waving at CM Punk?
Yeah, well, Punk was waving back. Yeah. It was,
they are good friends.
That's a good thing. That is a good thing. That it shows you that Punk isn't as much a dick as what one says. Is the match itself was great. Loved it. I still think he's turning on Cody at some point. Randy.
Orton. What about the whole Jay thing? Done the whole little when he looked like
he was
give him the super kick. Yeah,
RKO to Dom at that point as well. I think there's something there, perhaps. I don't know. Again, this is why we need to watch Raw tonight, or whenever we watch. This is why Raw is going to be so good because all of this, you've got so much stuff going on that it's actually going to be. You want to watch it to find out what's Mr. Punk going to do, what's Rollins going to do, what's Orton going to do. What's happening with Judgment Day? There's so much.
Where does this leave Roman Reigns? Because we're talking, as much as I'm loving a stacked Raw and it's going to be fucking incredible and I can't wait. In the back of my mind, I'm now thinking, well, we've somehow got to get to, do we quote unquote end the story? Not saying Roman Reigns has been forgotten about, but it's kind of like with all this going on now with Punk, with Orton, with the Jey Uso, with Cody Rhodes, with the Judgment Day. I'm like, well, realistically, what is Roman Reigns going to do at the Rumble?
I think
he's going to be at the Rumble. Whether he's going to be
one-on-one, he'll be defending the title.
Yeah, he's going to defend the title. Does he defend it? Throw Gunther out there. Does something like that happen? Title versus title.
I think at the moment they're not really. I think at the moment they're just like we'll get to January and make that.
What are we 6 weeks away from the Rumble?
Yeah, they got plenty of time. Yeah,
7 weeks away from the Rumble, and we say it's like something like January the fucking 27th.
It's the end of the last weekend,
right? The last weekend. So we've got a big build now.
Like 2 months
to the Rumble. So they're gonna have to. TV's gonna have to be good now. It's the only thing when they do these. Me and you mentioned this when me and you started working together last year, and we were talking about the build to Mania. TV needs to be good now because you've got 7 weeks of no pay-per-views, nothing.
Apart from NXT.
You could maybe something could happen in that. You could throw a little something in for one of the.
Throw someone in there, can't you?
Yeah, but you've got 7 weeks now of TV build. That's got to be decent. And like you say, Raw, we fucking can't wait. SmackDown, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be interesting.
We've also got to find out who Nakamura was targeting.
Yeah, who was he talking about?
Could have been
Punk. Was he talking about? Could have been Punk. Could have been now he's here. Could have been Orton. Could be Roman Reigns. I know he's on Raw, but that doesn't become.
No difference, is it?
That doesn't mean shit. But yeah, I mean, if gave you a pad and a pen, say, come on, Ad, you and Andy, sit down and work this out. How would you do it? Because I'm potentially with you. I love Orton as a heel.
Yeah,
he's fucking incredible. If you just turn him on like a Cody or something, and they get into a little thing, I still think it might be Jey Uso leading into the Rumble. Does Randy declare himself for the Royal Rumble? Does he come out to the first superstar to declare for the Royal Rumbles? Randy Orton? Is it CM Punk? How would you do it?
I think I don't know. It's a difference. You still got McIntyre as well.
When does his contract run out, by the way?
February.
Okay, so we've got him for the Rumble, definitely.
Yeah. You got him for that. I mean, they might extend it. Injury. He had some time, didn't he? So injury as well. So they might extend it. I don't know. I mean, Orton. I'd like to see him in the program with McIntyre first. I'd like to have that initially. Definitely turn on Cody. That needs a while though. Would it be better Cody finishing the story and then Orton doing him after, like the next night?
Yeah, he needs some good one-on-ones now with all this Survivor Series stuff that was good, and I want some good one-on-ones.
Plenty to choose from now.
Yeah, and the main events of Raw are going to be like pay-per-view quality now because, like I just said, 7 weeks. You've got to throw some bangers in there. Absolutely bangers.
I think they'll throw in. There's plenty of people in that can do it. When's Punk going to have his first match? That's the thing.
Rumble.
Do you reckon it'll take that long? They'll build it.
I've got a feeling you won't see him wrestle on it. They might do a little tag. I don't think it'll be on this Monday Night Raw. I don't think it'll be. I think it'll be promo, but I think they'll keep him and Seth as far apart as they can fighting wise.
Yeah,
They'll tease absolute. Honestly, they'll be like a cheap hooker down King's Cross. They'll be teasing you like a motherfucker, but nothing's actually going to happen till we get to the Rumble, or I don't want to say, mate, Elimination Chamber in Australia.
Yeah.
You know, that Elimination Chamber is going to be, you potentially could have, you think about who you could maybe put into a main event at Mania. You could have Punk, Orton, and Cody Rhodes. Just using them three, you could have them in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. I mean, that it throws up who wins the Rumble now as well.
Jesus Christ.
Because you also potentially, and it's still not been, you still potentially got Rock as well.
Yeah, you still got The Rock and Roman to.
Does Austin come back? Can they do Austin?
Don't do that to me, mate. You thought I was bad enough when CM Punk come out. If his music ever hit during the Rumble, hello, is that 999? Yeah, I've had a heart attack.
I'm used to that.
Yeah, Adam, I need some advice, mate.
But you could potentially have Austin Punk. That throws that up again.
Oh, do you imagine? And they had the whole thing with Jay. That's why JR got sacked from WWE. With the stuff they said at the 2K launch, God knows how many years ago now, probably about 13 years ago, 14 years ago.
So much potential now.
This is why we like professional wrestling. I was chatting to a couple of friends yesterday. I was over at the Dunstable Ladies, and Dan that comes to a lot of the wrestling events with us. He was there, and Wayne was there, my good friend Wayne, and he was like, "Wow, this is kind of like the old school. We're talking about like we were back in the day, and we had Taker and Austin and Foley, and now we're like, we got Orton, we got Cody, we got Seth Rollins, we got CM Punk, we got Gunther, we got Damian Priest, we got the Judgment Day. There's the whole Usos, you got Roman Reigns. It's like, wow, this is why I love professional wrestling, because now, I mean, the classic, I know we give you stick about the whole wobble your head moment. You literally don't know what's going on right now.
No.
Because I was the same as you. I'm like, they're not going to pull off CM Punk coming back. They're not going to do it. And then then bam, his music hits. Everyone goes bananas.
And they done it the right way, because they announced Orton was coming back before Survivor Series. So that
they didn't take nothing away from him.
Yeah, no, it's not even that fact. Yeah, exactly that. There's also, but AEW done it well because they done it at the start because everyone was expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
The WWE done it the good their way as well, because they done it at the end, because it kind of, everyone was like, oh, he's not coming back. That's because it was always a what if, wasn't it? It was always a potential. It was nothing ever intensified. You never really heard.
No dirt sheets really got it. Yeah,
like no one got it right. Well, people did get it right, people that guessed it, but it was like they done it so well. Whereas AEW done it right because everyone was expecting it, so they put him on at the start because everyone was chanting his name anyway. It made perfect sense. And it made perfect sense for WWE to do it at the end because nobody was expecting it. Even in your heart of hearts, you would say, yeah, it would be great, but it's unlikely.
No, and then, to get that kind of pop surprise, I haven't had. We've been very fortunate. We've been somewhat like Cena at Money in the Bank. When that music hit, and that was just like one of them, holy fuck. I mean, he was in London doing some film work anyway, but that, you think all the times that like Austin used to come back, when he come back after his neck surgery, he come back like 4 months early. No one had a clue that he was going to be at Backlash, albeit he only come down and swung a chair and he done no one had a Scooby-Doo that he was coming out. His music hit. So them moments like that are why I think I'm a professional wrestling fan. I absolutely love that kind of stuff. One quick name before I know we're running out of time. One quick name to throw into the mix. I know you know your contracts and stuff like that. MJF's contract's up to the start of next year, mate. Do we throw him into the WWE mix?
I don't think it is.
No,
I think he signed. I think.
Okay. I thought now, from what I'm reading between the lines and what I'm hearing from not gonna lie, I don't watch a lot of it. I listen to what you do on the turnbuckle and what Dave mentions and Parker and stuff. But I think AEW might have convinced him to stay. But does he look at all this and go, oh, fucking hell? He's good mates with Cody. You've got Orton. You've got Punk. You've got. Does he look at this and go, my contract's up in February?
I think we're going to see a lot of moves in 2024. Potentially, as we said, McIntyre, Sheamus. I think last I read, the WWE had kind of had some form of communication that he had re-signed until 2027.
Okay.
But again, that's just shit that you read. It doesn't mean that he has. He could easily rock up at the Royal Rumble if his contract was up. But I think right now, if his contract was up in, say, the end of January, that title will be whipped off him pretty soon. So it could be World's End. I mean, World's End's on the 30th of December.
If he loses that title, mate,
Joe beats him there.
The internet will lose its shit.
Then it gives you another question to answer.
Imagine hearing his music here at the Rumble.
I can't even say no now because
no, you'll just be sitting there like that, mate.
I'll be like D'Lo Brown.
Oh dear, but Ads, it's been good to catch up, mate, and review Survivor Series. You and I will be, but I haven't got football tomorrow. Have you got football?
Yes.
Tuesday. Oh, well, we won't review Raw tomorrow. We're doing that Wednesday. So we'll be back with our Raw review Wednesday. Loads of interviews coming up.
Howard Fritz later from NWA.
Yes, there you go. NWA. Keep an eye out for NWA review dropping later. Myself and Adam will review Raw on Wednesday, and then we'll see what happens in the future of the WWE, mate. It's a great time to be a WWE fan. Honestly, truly is that. But I'll catch up with you later in the week, mate. Good luck with the NWA stuff tonight. Make sure you go and check us out on YouTube. Just type in Hitting the Turnbuckle at HTT Buckle on Twitter. Yes, I still call it that. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads. Still haven't got a fucking clue what that is. They used to be the thing that Adam had on his hair, but
back in the day.
But I'm off to give my head a wobble now, and let's hope MJF doesn't turn up in the WWE because I will look like a right fool. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Hit in the Turnbuckle. I've been your host, Andy Burrows, with the amazing Adam Cousins. Till next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe.